Today we have fictions by Jorge Luis Borges. I know it says Ficciones, but I can't say that right. I said it anyway, but this is one of the best books I've ever read. It truly is, and it's one of the most unique books I've ever read. And I can tell you right now that I've never or will never find anything exactly like this, and that's what makes this so interesting. And if you're interested in that kind of style of reading, if you read something like Joyce or you know, Blake or Gibran. Like there's just certain authors that do things that other authors don't and don't dare to do. And I seem to love those types of things. And what makes this work so unique is that it's a set of short stories, and the short stories aren't necessarily normal short stories. You think of short story, oh, it's a condensed novel basically, and events unfold, and there's a beginning, middle, and end. Where I don't really say that about most of these stories. There's obviously some that are more traditional stories than others, but a big portion of this book is writing stories about a fictional book that he created, and it's an entire world that has been crafted in front of you, and it almost blurs the lines between poetry and fiction, between a story and poetry. And I really enjoyed it. It's a really fun read, and it's not like normal stream of consciousness where it's completely out of bounds, where it's completely confusing. It's more so you can follow it and you can kind of be engrossed in this world that Borges builds up. And man, it's something special. It's really fun. The first story, it's Orbis Tertius or something. I don't know how to say it. Orbis Tertius. I think that's one of the best stories I've ever read, and I really urge you to pick that one up. I think Borges wrote this in 1944, I want to say, and there's a lot of really interesting stuff in here. He seems to be somebody that reads just so that he can include these things in his stories, because you could tell he has a deep appreciation for a lot of different things. You could tell he has a very balanced perspective, and he tries to capture the entire human experience. It reminds me a lot of Ulysses in that way, in that what Joyce was trying to do in Ulysses was trying to capture what a day-to-day person feels, what a day-to-day person observes, and how there's sort of a reality that is kind of lying to us. I guess you could take that way in Joyce, but similarly, Borges talks about the individuality of human experience. There's a story called The Library of Babylon where he basically turns everything into this one allegory about how we all experience things differently, how there's an infinite level of experience, and how there's just so much information out there, and you might have a life that's similar to someone else's, but it's unique in your own way. And it's just, I genuinely think this is one of my new favorite works, and I really urge you to pick it up. Unfortunately, I really can't go into depth about it because it's just so out there. It's just so engrossing. I think it's something you have to experience for yourself. Perhaps if I reread it and reread it and reread it, maybe I'd be able to talk more. But I really don't feel confident talking about all of these things because I need to tell you that when I was reading this, I didn't really pick up details. I really didn't. Like, I really don't remember much of it, but I remember the experience. I remember the feeling it evoked. It reminds me of poetry in that sense that I can't recite you lines of Blake, but I can tell you Blake is my favorite poet. I can't, recite that many things of Khalil Gibran, but I can tell you I felt a certain way when I was reading this. And this book is the same. This book is something that I think will forever be up there in my favorite list of books. And I want to, one, reread this, and two, I want to read more by Borges. So hopefully this was what you needed to hear. Hopefully this is something that you'll pick up. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the other thing, someone actually recommended this to me in the link that I have in the description of Recommend Me Books. So if you're seeing this, if you're watching this video, I really thank you for doing that, because it was something special. But that said, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Peace out. I'll catch you in the next one.